shout out to all my girls who have hooded eyes. You can rock this style. Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Melissa, and today I'm going to be doing the Ride or Die tag. Now I know this tag has been out for a little while, but I have been kind of saving it because I thought it would be a fun tag to do at the end of the year to share with you some of my all-time favorite products of life, if you will, not just for 2016. And I thought I would also do it kind of in a get ready with me style, and you can see the products in action at the same time. So let's just jump right on in there. I'm going to start by clipping my hair up. This makes it oh so much easier. So the first item is a primer, and I don't typically use a primer that much. Sometimes for special occasions I'll whip one out, but typically don't really use one. What I like to use is a really good SPF on my face as a base, and so the one I really like is from Paula's Choice, and I'm currently out of it, so I'll insert a little picture of it here. It is the Resist Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense with a broad spectrum SPF of 30, and I have a little sample here that I'm using up because I am out, but you can get a good look here for what the product looks like. It's like a medium weight lotion that has a little bit of a tint to it. And I think that tint is there primarily to help with any kind of flashback that you sometimes get with sunscreen. It really has no noticeable look on my face. So if you're looking at this going, oh, I have a darker complexion than this isn't going to work for me, I think it will. I think it'll just blend away and you won't even notice it. But I like to start off with a sunscreen because that way I know I have a lot of good coverage and I don't have to worry about if my foundation has a sunscreen in it or not. I know that I have protected my skin. Next item I'm going to share with you is an eye primer, and I was a little surprised that it wasn't really included in the original tag, so I decided to add it to my version of this tag because I think it's an important step and it's not something I ever really pass on. So I use a lot of different primers, but one of my favorite is actually from Bobbi Brown, and it's not really a primer. It is the Long Wearing Cream Shadow in the color Shore. And I would put this in the same category as like a MAC paint pot. It goes on with a brush. I usually just apply it with a little brush, but you could use your finger if you wanted to. And what I like about this is it helps even out the skin tone on my eyes, as well as providing a nice base for the shadow to stick. And I find as I've gotten a little bit older, I have a little more discoloration on my eyelids, and I think it makes for a better eyeshadow application. You can also just wear it as an eyeshadow. How novel is that idea? Now we're going to move into foundation. I looked back to see if I included this foundation in my 2015 favorites, and I had, which is something kind of interesting. It is still a favorite. It was, 2 years running, nothing else has knocked this foundation out of my top favorite, and it is the YSL Fusion Ink Foundation. Now this does have a little bit of SPF in it. It has a 15 in it, and it's a really light, kind of watery, almost foundation. I would probably call this like a serum foundation. But I think that's one of the things I like about it because it goes on the skin really almost weightlessly, which is one of the things I love about this foundation. I don't really notice it on my skin. It doesn't settle into any of the fine lines and wrinkles I have, and it just provides me enough kind of day-to-day coverage. It's not full coverage foundation. It's just a nice kind of blur away some of those imperfections. Now it does come with this little spatula type applicator, which I thought was kind of goofy at first, but I've come to really enjoy it. I think it works great. So I'm going to just blend it out with my beauty blender. And you'll notice it's a cloudy day here, so the brightness in this room is going to change. I apologize for that. This has been lately a real frustration for me, where if it was full on cloudy, that would be great. If it was full on sunny, it would be great. But when it's in and out, not so good. So the next item is concealer. So I am currently out of my really all-time favorite concealer, and that is the Maybelline Fit Me. I love that concealer. I usually wear the shade Light, but I did finish it up, and I had a couple other concealers that I am working on, so I don't have one to show you, but through the magic of the internet, I'm going to insert a picture of what that looks like in case you don't know what it looks like. So the current concealer that I'm using is from Smashbox. It's the Studio Skin 24-Hour Waterproof Concealer, and my shade is Light. And I like this. This is nice, but I don't think it beats out the Maybelline Fit Me. And since the Maybelline Fit Me is more affordable, that's what I'm going to use. Typically what I do when I put my concealer on is I also use a little dab of eye cream, because I feel like it helps plump up those fine lines and gives me a better finish under my eye. And then I just take my finger and kind of mix the two on my face, and then I follow up with the Beauty Blender and blend it out. I like to go for a concealer that's gonna kind of set itself, so I don't typically use a powder under my eyes. It is one of the questions for the ride or die. I do have one that I use from time to time if I have a particularly creamy concealer that is not setting and needs to be set. I will use the e.l.f. High Definition Under Eye Setting Powder, which is super light and just really a nice, really beautiful powder that is very lightweight and goes away. But I can't remember the last time I've used this, because most of the concealers that I'm using these days are not those heavy creamy ones, because I guess they're not that kind to my face. So the next item on the list is a face powder, and this one is also from e.l.f. e.l.f. makes some really great powders. I think they're such a great buy and really a beautiful quality. This is the Tone Correcting Powder, which is, you know, the 4 squares of slightly different colors. And I just go after this with a big fluffy brush and kind of pat it in. Now, on a normal work week, I probably don't apply a face powder, but I'm including it because it is part of this tag. So when I was making my notes under here for under eye setting powder, I just wrote nope. Nope, just don't do it. The next item is blush, and this was so easy for me because I picked up this blush this year and I have to really kind of been forcing myself to use something else. And it's from IT Cosmetics. It's the CC Plus Radiance Ombre Blush in Sugar Plum. Where to start with this blush? I just love this blush. It is just, first of all, the Sugar Plum is such a great color, especially for like the fall time, because it's just a really beautiful plummy color. But it also has, on this ombre side, like a built-in highlighter, which I think these are just spectacular. Now, whenever I wear these on camera, I always get a comment about them because it just gives you just the perfect amount of glow, like this glow lit from within. And so I use it a couple different ways. Sometimes I go here into the darker part and do like a little bit of quasi-contouring, and sometimes I just swirl it around and apply it all over. And that's what I'm going to do today. I'm just going to go ahead and swirl it around and apply it to my cheeks. And this is great for the work week when you're trying to get out the door, because it's all in one. You can just swirl together all in one and you really get a beautiful highlight effect. I am crazy about this. They actually have a couple other shades, but they also have a bronzer, which I'm thinking of looking at. So there's that. So the next item is bronzer. I didn't even put anything. I don't have a bronzer that I can recommend that's a ride or die. It's not something, I almost never use bronzer. So you're on your own there. For highlight, I have really been just loving these glowy blushes, but I do have one that I really love. It is discontinued, however. So there might be something out there that's similar to this, but I just couldn't decide. Do I include it? Do I not include it? And I'm like, this is my ride or die. I still have this in my makeup collection for me to use because I love it that much. And I'm going to talk about it. So it is from number 7, and it is the Highlights Illuminating Lotion. And you can see I've used a lot of this. I'm so sorry that they stopped making it, and I looked on their website today to see if they just maybe renamed it, repackaged it. I don't see anything even remotely close to this that would fall into this category. It's just like a little creamy lotion, and you can use this. Oh, I think this is what I love about this so much, is you can use it a couple different ways. You can use it under your foundation if you want like an all-over glow. You can mix it with your foundation to get just kind of a little bit of oomph glow to your foundation, or you can tap it on your cheekbones to get a little extra. So I'm just gonna go tap tap. I think my favorite way to use this has been to mix it with foundation. I adore doing that. I think it just is very subtle, it's believable, and it doesn't, it's not too much. It's just really a beautiful, glowy look to your foundation. So if you can find like a liquid or a lotion type of highlighter, I suggest you try it because it's really terrific. All right, I'm going to jump down a few. I'm going to go into makeup palettes. So it does ask, what is your favorite eyeshadow palette? And this was so hard for me because I've picked up a number of new palettes this year, and I like them fine. But when I think about if I'm going to travel or I want to make sure I have a great palette with me, this is the one I think of, and I'll explain why. It is the Japanesque Pixelated Color Palette, and this is still available, even though I've had this maybe 2 years or a year and a half. I think this palette is fabulous. So it's really like 2 sections. This section is all mattes and neutrals. And so this is like your everyday eye, but these are great. This is like the perfect crease transition shade here, and of course you want a great black. And then on the pixelated color side, these are very sparkly and really great colors, but I just love these for when I want to have like a little bit more dramatic look. Now, we're heading into the new year. I'll probably use this palette for my New Year's Eve makeup, but I often use this brown one for an everyday work look. Just kind of blend into the outer corner to give a little extra zhuzh out there. Or I use, one of these, I particularly like this dark green, and I just put that all over my lid and then use this in the crease. I really love this palette. It's phenomenal. And these two grays are really wonderful neutrals, so they can be less fancy, if you will. So these are the three brightest colors in the palette. So this one's a little more purple, this one comes off a little more blue, that's a little bit green. And these are the two grays and the brown. So this is like a gunmetal gray, this is a lighter gray, and that's the brown. So I have that palette that I just love. It was in my 2015 favorites. I still love it. Nothing that I picked up this year has bumped this out of place. I have a couple of newer palettes that I'm still getting to know, but this is the one I think of. So then I was like, oh, do I want to use one that I used last year? And I thought, well, what would be your number 2 palette? And my number 2 palette would be this Rainforest of the Sea palette. And I thought I would talk about this also because Tarte just issued a volume 2 on this, and I'm curious to know if anybody has picked that up and what you think. I think it is less taupey and more brown and a little bit darker. But I really like the formula of these shadows. So I think for today, I'm going to use this bright purple here and all over the mobile part of my lid, which is a great trick if you have hooded eyes. So shout out to all my girls who have hooded eyes. You can rock this style. If you have a more open eye, you'll have to probably apply it in a slightly different manner, but this is special for my hooded eye girls. So I'm going to start with this color here, this light color, and apply that under my brow. And then I'm going to follow up and put this brown shade in my crease. And because I have small eyes, I'm just using kind of a small little brush. This one is from e.l.f. Imagine that. I'm just going to, just tap and pack this on the mobile part of my lid. And then I'm just going to take this, fluffier brush and just kind of bring it up a little bit into my crease. Not a ton, just a little bit. And then just taking my finger along with a little bit of the extra, so I have a little more intensity along the lash line. So then I'm going to just take a little smudge brush and go back into the brown and just kind of run it along my lower lash line. And I'm going to dip it also into the purpley color. So the idea is when you're looking straight forward, you don't see a whole ton of color, but when you look down, you have a little bit more impact. I happen to love that technique for my hooded eye girls. So something that was not included in this tag originally was any kind of liner, anything like that. And I wanted to include one because I tried the Makeup Forever Aqua XL liner this year, and I think it's fabulous. And the shade that I picked up was this gray shade, which is M14. I really love this, so I'm going to go ahead and do a little lining on my eyes. So the next item on the list is mascara. I talk about this all the time. My absolute favorite mascara is from the drugstore. It's the L'Oreal Voluminous Butterfly Mascara, and I like it in the waterproof version. And I just think this does such a fabulous job. And I have tried a crap ton of mascaras this year, and nothing has come close. Alright, I had a little bit of fallout from applying my eyeshadow, and I don't typically do my entire... This tag had stuff in weird order for me. So I went ahead and cleaned up under my eyes, and I decided with this really dark, smoky eye, I really needed to use a little bit of a brighter or brightening concealer. So I swapped out my concealer for the Touche Eclat because it's just a little bit of brightening, and I think it makes the eye look a little bit better. So, back to the tag. We're now to like lashes, and no, I don't ever wear false eyelashes. I think I've only worn them once on camera. I'm just a klutz. I can't figure out how to wear them, and I'm afraid I'm going to look like crazy Aunt Sally. The next item is setting spray. I really love this Urban Decay B6 Vitamin Infused Complexion Prep Spray, but I use it really minimally because there is a lot of alcohol in it, and that's just not very good for your face. So I do love this, and you can use it to prep. You can also apply it over the top. I think this is great. I love this. And it is kind of a dual purpose. I wouldn't use it every day because 20 years from now your skin won't like you very much. One of the things I love about the Urban Decay sprays is the nozzle. Puts such a fine mist out, you don't end up with big heavy droplets anywhere. Okay, I'm just going to brush out my brows. And I don't use a lot of brow product, and brows were not mentioned in the tag, which surprised me once again. Brows are huge. Why weren't brow products mentioned? So I'm just going to share with you something that I do because I like to keep my brows kind of natural. So every about 4 weeks, I dye them. I tint them myself, and I use the Just for Men Beard Tinting Kit. The shade I use is light medium brown, or M30, and if you are going to try this, I would suggest going lighter than you think you need to initially, because I did pick up the wrong kit once, and they were dark, and didn't like them. But super easy. It takes 5 minutes. You just put an equal amount of each tube. You mix it together. I actually just apply it with a little pointed Q-tip. I feel like I get the best precision that way. And then you're done. And they're great. I mean, if you want, you can use a little spoolie. Sometimes I do, but most of the time, I just use a Q-tip. And then I don't have to worry about my brows so much. Another item that was not included on this list was lip liner. And so I'm including that because I have some lip liners that I really love. I really do like MAC liner in the color Whirl, but I think a good drugstore dupe is this one from Rimmel, and it's the Exaggerate Full Color Lip Liner, and this is in the shade Addiction. And I really love these lip liners from Rimmel. I think they're great. So the top one is Whirl, and the bottom one is the Rimmel. I think they are pretty darn close. So the Rimmel one might be a little bit more brown. They do now. Sometimes I like to just wear the lip liner, like in the morning when I'm heading out. I'll just line and fill in my lips with a lip liner and head to the train, and not until I get to the office do I put on any kind of lip product. So that is the Rimmel lip liner. I have quite a few of these. I have at least these. So clearly I really love them. Maybe I'll do a lip swatch of these liners so you can see what the colors are like. Love these liners. Alright, so the next item is, there's a couple of things under lips. There's a lip gloss, there's a liquid lipstick, and your favorite just bullet lipstick. So I'll just quickly talk about the liquid lipstick. I am such a huge fan of the Kat Von D Lolita, the original Lolita lipstick, because I just think that color suits me a little bit better than, let's say, Lolita 2, which is a little bit warmer. So that's the Lolita lipstick. I'm not going to apply that because I feel like you've probably already seen that quite a bit. I'm going to go straight to a lip gloss. And I picked up a set of lip glosses at Christmas time from Lorac. They're Alter Ego lip glosses. But it was a great set. I'm not a huge gloss girl, but these are really pigmented, and I just thought the colors were great, and it was an awesome set. I'm going to go ahead and apply this, which is too small for me to read. And that's a swatch of this. I just love it. It almost looks like nighttime out there now. And the last item is a lipstick. And I love this shade from NARS, their Audacious lip color line. I think these are great lipsticks, and this is the shade Anna. I happen to like, if I'm going to look for a really great, ride or die lip, it's going to be something that is kind of like a nudie mauve color. And this really suits the bill there. So that wraps up my ride or die tag. I would love to hear from you if you have a new foundation recommendation that you would like me to try, or any other products that you think I would like, that I should try, should check out, maybe review on this channel. I would love to hear from you about what those recommendations are. I don't want to be in a rut. I'd like to try some new things. So share with me what some of your favorites were and what things that you think I may enjoy trying. So I hope you've had a great holiday season, and I wish you all a very happy and healthy 2017. Thank you so much, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.